I'm laughing because this is my third time doing this. If you guys could only see the outtakes, I should probably make a blooper reel. But anyways, behold, these are my very first pair of mouse ears that I've bought. I don't know if you can tell, but these are like Mickey pirate ones. Check them out. There's like a little hat right here, and a little rose, and like a little mini pirate. This awesome feather. It's super cool. But anyways, this is the very first pair that got me started on this awesome, satisfying, makes me happy collection. I'm up to like probably 33 or 35 pairs of ears or something like that. And every time I buy a pair, Scott always goes, another pair? Well, looks like I can buy another critter. And I'm just like, no, that doesn't even make sense, because mine are hidden under the bed. You can't hide critters under the bed. And, you know, he's talking about a lizard or a snake or something like that. But anyways, my very first pair. They're cute. They're fun. This feather's awesome, by the way. Okay, here we go. We're still working on solving inequalities 3.2. We're going to be solving them with multiplication and division. Now, I normally do this a little bit differently than most teachers do. So those of you guys out in YouTube land, just hang in there, watch the whole video. You'll see what I mean coming up. And we have some quick examples. It's pretty basic on how to solve. It's just like one-step solving equations, except for we're going to be solving a one-step inequality. So here we go. Example 1. All our problems are solve and graph. And here we go. Let's go. X over 8 is greater than negative 5. Now remember, X does not just stand for a number. X now represents all real numbers. I got kind of a good glare here. All real numbers. Okay, so we don't want to just say X, because when we talk about inequalities, we're talking about more than one number. I'm finding some crazy glares here. Here we go. I can't get off the glares, and I just got to find a right angle here. Here we go. You're going to solve it the same way you do an equation. So fence, variable. Here we go. Division problem, you're going to undo that by multiplication. Now remember, this is also saying 1x over 8, and so you're going to multiply it by its reciprocal. So if you flip it, that's 8 over 1. So when you multiply, you better make sure you put it up here by the x. Yes, I am very picky on this, because if you put just multiply by 8 down here, you then have x over 64, and you haven't eliminated anything. So make sure it goes on top. And yes, I'll take points off on your homework, kids. Those cancel out to 1. You're simplifying it technically. Multiply it by 8 over here. What you do to one side, you do to both sides of the equal sign. If we're doing equal signs, we're doing inequalities. I do not want to do a fourth take, but I probably should have stopped that and fixed it. I'm not going to do a fourth take, so here we go. X is greater than negative 5 times 8. Negative 40. Okay, here we go. So all real numbers that are greater than negative 40. Number line. My kids, remember, we only do 3 numbers. The one it's talking about, 1 in front and 1 in back. So there's negative 40. 1 in front, negative 39. 1 in back, negative 41. Okay, first thing first, we got to figure out if it's an open or closed dot. And so we're talking about all numbers that are greater than. So it's going to be open, because negative 40 would not make this inequality true. So that's why it's going to be an open dot. And so where are the numbers that are greater than negative 40? Well, think of a number that's greater than negative 40. Any positive is always greater than any negative, and so is 0. So 0 is greater than negative 40. 1 is greater than negative 40. Those numbers are over here, so you're going to shade this way. There you have it. Not too bad. It's still pretty fast. It's just really a one-step inequality. So just like a one-step equation, now it's a one-step inequality. And example 2. Solve and graph. Those are going to be the directions for all problems today. Just so you know. Here we go. 3, I'm changing up the variable. 3m is less than or equal to, what does that say? Negative 24. Multiplication problem. That's variable. How do you undo multiplication? Hopefully you said division. So let's divide this by 3 on both sides. Remember, 3 divided by 3 is 1. That's why I cross it out. M is less than or equal to negative 24 divided by 3, negative 8. Boy, I like negatives. All right. Graph it. Negative 8, negative 7, negative 9. Now remember, my kids, you can use any numbers you want as long as it makes mathematical sense. But out there in YouTube land, guys, your teacher might say you have to use very specific numbers. That's fine. But my kids, you could put like negative 7.1. You could make this like 9,042. Whatever you want. I don't care as long as you place numbers correctly. And no, it's not, obviously it's not going to be just one away. I'm not that picky about number lines. What I am picky about number lines is making them true, making sure they make mathematical sense. So keep that in mind. So let's just make this all nice and pretty again. Here we go. Open or closed. And it is closed because it is part of the solution set. And numbers that are less than or equal to negative 8. Remember, the farther away a number gets on the negative side of your integer line, I keep saying strip, the smaller it gets. So negative 8 is actually greater than negative 9 and negative 10 and negative 11 and all these numbers that way. Not too bad, huh? All right then. Moving on to example 3, which, big surprise, directions are still solve and graph. So all I'm doing is I'm changing this. Solve and graph, example 3. Wait till you see this one. Okay, here we go. Heart divided by negative 3 is greater than 2. Some of you guys might be like, why didn't you do that problem with example 1? You're about to find out. Here we go. Fence, variable. I don't care if that's a variable or a symbol. You guys know that by now. Okay. It's a division problem, so you undo division by multiplication. Multiply it by negative 3 on top. That simplifies, because negative 3 heart divided by negative 3 is just heart. Multiply over here by negative 3. I always make my fence way too big. So then we have heart is greater than negative 6. Okay, cool. So far, so good. Some of you guys are probably trying to figure out why I didn't do this with example 1. You're about to find out. And then so we graph it. Negative 6, negative 5, negative 7. All real numbers greater than negative 6. Okay. There's negative 6. It's open because negative 6 is not part of the solution. And so 0 and 1 and 2 and 3, those numbers are greater than negative 6. So I'm going to shade this way. Sweet. Okay. So let's pick a number down here. Just to make sure we are solving these correctly. So how about like, I don't know, 3. How about 3? Let's plug it in up here. 3 divided by negative 3 is greater than 2. Okay? So 3 divided by negative 3 is negative 1. It's greater than 2. Is that true? Is that true right here? No, it's not. So there's a little rule you have to do. When you are multiplying, okay, to solve for x, what you have to do, you have to flip this inequality, because what happens is you don't end up producing a true statement. So this right here, that's yuck. That doesn't work, because it doesn't end up producing anything that's true. So that's why you actually have to flip the inequality to produce something that makes the inequality up here true. So that's a little rule. So let's try this again. So x over... Oh, sorry, it was heart. And my kids, don't erase it. Just cross it out, just like I did, and continue underneath. So it was heart divided by negative 3 is greater than 2. You're still going to solve it the same way. Okay, so multiply by negative 3. And now what you want to do is you want to flip this guy. So we have heart, flip it. I even write flip it in here. Flip. And so 2 times negative 3 is a negative 6. So it's saying all real numbers less than -6 are going to make this inequality true. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, it's still an open dot because -6 is not part of the solution. All right, so what's a number that's less than -6, but we're going to check it again. So you want to make sure, just for ease, I guess, make sure it's kind of divisible. Multiple of 3? I know I said divisible, but I meant multiple, because I'm not going to record this for a 5th time, because that would be number 5. Anyways, so let's go -9, because -9 is like somewhere down here, right? So let's go -9 up here. -9 divided by -3. I want to know if it's greater than 2. So I have -9 by -3 is 3. 3 is greater than 2? Yes, it is. So you just had a small little proof on why you have to flip this. Okay. So -9 is down here. And so that means that all these numbers to the left of -6 will make this inequality true. And you just proved it right here. Okay. That was a cute little proof. Not bad. All right, now example 4. Let me guess. Solve and graph. I don't know why I said let me guess. I know what the directions are. Oh well. Solve and graph, guys. Hey, solve and graph time. Woohoo! I have zero idea what's going on in my brain right now. I just had some caffeine, so maybe that could be why I'm just like all over the place right now. I don't know. God, I wish I was in class. I so wish I was in class right now. Here we go. -7 times, what variable do we want? A is going to be less than or equal to -35. So again, some of you guys might be saying, how come you didn't do that with example 2, Miss Parks? It's a multiplication problem. We're going to undo it by division. Yeah, you're right. So, it probably has something to do with this problem. Let's go. Okay. Circle. Divide by -7. A is less than or equal to -35 divided by -7 is 5. So that they're saying that all real numbers that are going to be less than or equal to 5 will make this inequality true. I'm not going to do everything. I'm just going to, knowing what we know about this problem, I'm going to plug in a number up here to see if this is true or not. So let's go 0. I like 0. So -7 times 0 is less than or equal to -35. So 0 is less than or equal to -35. Also known as -35 is greater than or equal to 0. Is that true? No, it's not. 0 is greater than any negative number. So this is yet another problem that you have to flip the inequality. So right here, whoops, flip it. So you have A is greater than or equal to 5. And you flip it here just like you flipped it, Claire, in the same spot. Okay, 5, 6, whoops, 4. I accidentally wrote 7. All right, so now they're saying all real numbers greater than or equal to 5. Okay, how about 10? All right, let's just check it. -7 times 10 is less than or equal to -35. So that's -70. It's less than or equal to -35. Remember, read them both ways. -35 is greater than or equal to -70. If you're having a hard time with negatives, I always talk about money. Would you rather owe me $35 or owe me $70? And 35 is which one you would rather owe me if you had to, because it's closest to 0. So remember, on negative numbers, the closer to 0 you are, the bigger they actually are. So this is true. Yay! We are happy about that. So now I have closed dot, and where's 10? It's this way. There we go. So the reason why I did not do example 3 and example 4 with example 1 and example 2 is because you ended up multiplying or dividing by a negative. And that's why these problems are different. Because when you multiply or divide by a negative in order to solve an inequality, you must flip your inequality symbol. I'm going to write that down. My kids, this is going to be blue. So when multiplying or dividing to solve an inequality, flip the symbol. Here we go. This is going to be blue. When multiplying or dividing to solve an inequality, flip the symbol. And that's only when we're solving. So basically, if you want to think about it like this, if your best friend is negative, so remember your best friends are right next to you or they're right underneath you because you're getting a piggyback ride. If they are right next to you or underneath you, that's when you flip it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bunch of different problems up, and then this is not in the book, and then we're going to figure out if we flip or not. That is the question. My kids, that's blue. Okay, so this is just me creating a bunch of problems, and you have to figure out if you flip the symbol or not. To flip or not to flip is the question. Is your best friend negative? No, it's not. So we do not care if your neighbor is negative. They can be in a bad mood all they want. So this is a no flip. There's a bug. Here we go. Let's go. Flip or no flip? No flip. Because your best friend isn't negative. So if your best friend is in a bad mood, you got to flip them. And your best friend's problem is 4. Those of you guys who have no idea what I'm talking about, your best friends, go ahead and check out solving equations. Okay, here's another one. Flip or no flip? Because you have 2 negatives here. So which one do you focus on? Do you focus on this one or do you focus on that one? Ooh. So ask, what are you doing to solve? You would divide by a negative here. So if you divide it by a negative, you're going to flip it. I don't normally say that. When multiplying or dividing... Oh, I forgot this. By a negative. I forgot some words. That would be retake like 15. Sorry, guys. When multiplying or dividing by a negative to solve an inequality, flip the symbol. This is definitely not my finest moment, but I'm not going to stop and redo this because I'm already at like 19 minutes. It's a good day. It's a good day. Okay, here we go. Negative heart over 4 is less than or equal to 1,347. Ooh. That one's tricky. Why is this so tricky? Well, okay, if you solve it like you're used to, multiply both sides by 4, and then you have negative heart is less than or equal to whatever the product of that is. But remember, you want the variable by itself, and so you have the opposite of heart, which means you then have to divide by a negative 1. Ha! So if you divide it by a negative, in order to solve, you gotta flip it. So this is a flip. flip it. What you could do is just multiply by a -4 up here. And that would get rid of it. That would get rid of that sign as well. I would have you do it in 2 steps in class, but yeah. So guys, chances are you're not going to see this in your textbook. You may, but probably not. The ones you're going to see are like these guys. Okay. So just keep in mind, if your best friend's negative, then you need to flip it. Don't forget to put this in. We want to multiply and dividing by a negative. To solve an inequality, flip the symbol. All right, then. So I hope you were entertained. I know I was entertained at my, I don't even know what you want to call it, brain fartism. I guess, I think I just created a word right there. Brain fartism. Isms, actually. I had quite a few of them. So anyways, I'm out for the day. Deuces. God.